well, man, we need help. The town's water supply has been poisoned.
Do it.
Oh,
You're
what?
supposed to be like, oh, hey, kid. Like,
Oh, hey, kids. I'll be right there.
be my okay, yeah.
Hey, well, man, we need help. The town's water supply has been poisoned. Oh.
Okay, kids, I'll be right there.
So that comes from, so whenever you were fat, like, I used to call you
Why
Whale
am I
Man.
fat?
And I called you Whale Man, and we would do that. Like, we'd just be out somewhere random, and I would do that, and you'd be like, I'll be right there, kids. Well, hey, kids.
There's so many of those things that we have.
I know.
Like, I'll like walk up, and my son will be in the bathroom, and I'll go knock, and I'll be like, hey, you taking a dump?
You do that
And
to
my
him?
son's probably like, what is
That's
wrong with
awesome.
my dad?
How does it feel to be a fat whale?
We'd be sitting in the courtyard at Central, and I'm talking to someone, and someone comes up behind me and puts their hand around me and screams, how does it feel to be a fat whale? And that was just, and I was just like, hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
You know, like,
It was just normal.
that was just a hello from
Who
Matt.
says that to somebody? Welcome to the Matt Cottrell Report. Man, we've got a really good one for you. This is going to be a real treat. This is one of my best friends. He was my best man in my wedding when I got married at the age of 28. He's, we've run around. We went to college together. We've been running around forever. He's going to have 19 years clean and sober very soon. This is part of his testimony, part of his story, hope, wisdom, and encouragement. Yeah.
Shelby.
Yeah,
what
Shelby.
was it, Shelby?
Yeah. So Shelby it was interesting because Shelby.
That was the summer of the lunch meat.
It was. Yeah. So Shelby was a full-blood boxer. Remember? And Ted and I found her. She walked up to the apartment and we found her and we took her in, and dude, she was the best dog. Remember, she was like such a good
best.
Well, not like well trained.
It's a good
but
word to use.
She was just a cool dog.
Yeah,
you know?
she was an awesome dog.
Yeah.
She's a fun, happy dog.
Yeah. And so who was the guy who rented us that house? Who was it again? I forget. It was
Was it Jared Bennett?
No, it wasn't Jared. It was somebody friends with Jared Bennett though. Remember? Who was that dude?
I don't know who it was.
Anyway, he rented us a house on Leon and something.
Yeah.
And it was right in West Campus. And
Yeah.
it was just for the summer. Me and you had it. And I brought Shelby over there. And you'd done this a couple of times. But you were like, at this point, I mean, you weighed probably close to 300 pounds. Well, like 280 maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
And you were always like sweaty and just like, you know, we were just both not like we were doing lots of stuff we shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
We were drinking every night.
Yeah.
Like, you were taking all kinds of different stuff, and there were times that I would be like genuinely worried about you. You know, you were like, I remember we were on the couch and it was night and we were watching some show.
Yeah.
And you were like breathing like real heavily, you know, you were like, and then you'd stop. And then I'd look over at you, and then so one time I looked over at you and you were breathing, and then you go, and like I was like freaked out, dude, because you hadn't talked in a while, and you started doing that, and then I was like, dude, and you're like, oh, I'm just messing with you.
I was fucking with you.
And I was like, dude, why would you do that? So the moral of that story is, man, there was a point we were so bad off that like I couldn't tell if you were joking or not. Like that was a reality of something that could really happen to either one of us.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
It was insane. So let's start off. That's just a little story for you guys to give you a little preview of what's to come here. But so tell the audience, give them a little elevator pitch. Tell them who you are, what you do, that kind of deal. For those who don't know you.
I'm Hunter Montgomery. I live in Houston, Texas. Grew up in San Angelo with Matt and a bunch of other people here. I guess my quick pitch is I'm a normal guy that wants to see the world. I want to explore that world with my family, and I want to help people in between. That's like my...
That's really good.
If I had a shtick, that's it. Yeah.
I want to thank our sponsors. Let's start with Maximus Nutrition. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Guys, if you're looking for protein powder, pre-workout, multivitamins, anything, I'm telling you, they have qualified staff, and they will sell you some of the highest, best quality products in the Concho Valley. I also want to thank Angelo MMA and Fitness. If you're looking to lose some weight, to put on some muscle, or if you're looking to get serious about fighting with MMA, Angelo MMA and Fitness is your spot. Also, the Re-Up. So for everything fresh, nutritious, and delicious, the Re-Ups in Angelo. I also want to thank Rusty Bartolomeo. He's the Einstein of real estate. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, E equals MC sold with Rusty Bartolomeo. And lastly, I want to thank San Angelo Performing Arts Center. Thank you, everyone, for sponsoring the Matt Cottrell Report. Now back to the interview. So is that
Pretty simple.
Is that something you've always wanted to do, though, like explore the world?
No. That came when I got married to Daniela.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like, my life has been like this. Ever since I got sober, it's just been like new awakenings, if you will. And new experiences.
Yeah.
Some of them good, some of them bad, some of them sad, some of them exciting. But when I got married the second time, Daniela she grew up traveling. I think we talked with you a little bit about this. Mm-hmm. And she was just kind of like, hey, like, this is what I do. Mm-hmm. If you're not like into that, that's cool, but this is what I do. And I mean, we literally were traveling within the first month of our relationship, internationally.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that. Like, I grew up in San Angelo, and like the farthest I'd been is Mexico. Yeah. You know, like for senior trip or college trips. So I just wasn't used to that. And when I first did it, it was like just my eyes were open to
same here.
Because it's like you get to meet so many different people, and it's just so different, and it is truly a whole world out there that you don't know exists. And when I started to experience that and everything with it, right, not just the people but the food and the land and like
the
God's
culture.
creation, it was just something that I was like, now I get it. I get it. And so like that's what we do. Like, that's what we do for fun. That's what we do for enjoyment.
Y'all just went to Portugal.
We just went to Portugal.
Yeah, dude. Was that cool?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. Again, like, the people were awesome. The food was...
That's what I think I like the most. So I can relate to that, dude. So when I was married, the first time, I married somebody from Germany. And so her parents still lived there. And so she would go back, and so she was like, this is something we're going to be doing. We're going to be going twice a year to Europe, to Germany and to the Netherlands. And I was excited, dude, to do it. But same as you, like, I grew up just going to, places around Texas, mostly weekend trips or whatever. And so I'd never, like, traveled the world. And so, dude, same with as you, like, experiencing a different culture and just, something was so different.
Well, there's also a lot of humility to it, right?
Yeah.
Because you realize, like, I am like,
that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me.
I'm such a small piece of such a bigger existence.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it really is. I mean, and I also, like, it kind of makes you, it gives you a lot of gratitude too, right?
Does.
Like, we were in Thailand, and I think I told you this story. We were doing like a hiking tour, if you will. Yeah. And we got to this one part on the mountain, and there was a man that had like a little like bungalow, like hut, that was making coffee, like handmade, like making the coffee, crushing it, fire roasted, and serving it. Yeah. And so he gave us some, and it was like amazing coffee. But I remember I tipped him. Yeah. And I think I gave him the equivalent of like $10
I do remember this. Yeah.
USD. And I just remember the guy like looked at me, and he was just like, and he was just really like into it, dramatic. Dude. And I was like, oh dang, like
How much
Absolutely.
was that to him? Was it like enough for like a month or two to
yeah,
pay his
so
rent?
we kind of walked off, and I was like to the tour guide, I was like, hey, he was like really excited about that, and she was like, well, yeah, you probably paid his electric bill for 2 or 3 months, and I was just like,
yeah,
that kind of makes you really puts into perspective like how lucky
for sure
we are in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
On the other side of that, though, something that happened to me in Germany was 2 things really. One is that you can't just get like at a restaurant get water. Like you have to pay for it. It's bottled water.
Dude, it's
or
brutal.
Sparkling water. Yeah, they don't just give you.
And there's
water.
not bathrooms anywhere.
Well, that's the other thing is something I found really interesting. And at first, it kind of made me mad, but then as I kept experiencing it, I was like, okay, I get it. Is that they have bathroom attendants everywhere you go. And everywhere you go, whether it's a convenience store, restaurant, or whatever, there's an attendant sitting there, and you have to pay them, like €1 or whatever. But every bathroom there was pristine.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like clean. So after a while, I was like, man, this is worth it. You know, just €1 for to have a really good experience in the bathroom.
Well, and the other thing is that, and that's part of the humility too, is like understanding that like Americans are just. We're so spoiled,
dude. I know,
and like even my attitude.
Yeah,
and I have to check myself a lot in day-to-day life with this because I'm just so spoiled. But like, I have these preconceived expectations on how life should be.
Right.
And when you're in someone else's home and when you're in someone else's country, and Daniela reminds me of this a lot. It's like, no, bro. This isn't America.
Right.
You're gonna do things this way.
That's right. Yeah.
And like you can bitch about it, or you can
That's exactly right.
hang out.
That's a good point, dude. Yeah.
And you know how I am. Like I'm set in my ways.
Right,
like the addict in me is like I need structure. I need to know I can get water at this time from this place. And if I don't get my way, I'm gonna stomp my feet. And so like that was really humbling. Like the first time I went out of the country, I had to realize like. You're going to be walking a lot. And you're not going to be as comfortable. There may not be AC.
Dude, that's one that was so hard for me to handle.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
the other thing that was really... So this one I didn't like so much, but it goes along with what you're saying is that's just how it is over there, and you got to respect that. Is that in Germany, it's a little bit different culture in terms of, like, high context and low context. Like, for instance, here, you know, in Texas, you say, hey, how's it going to strangers? You know, you're like, how are you? Howdy. What's up? How's it going? So as soon as we got there the first time, we were at our parents' house, and it's like a pretty nice neighborhood. They're both teachers. They make really good living. And everybody in the evening takes their dog out and walks. So there's people everywhere. And we would come up along some people, and they'd be passing us, and I'd say, hey, how you doing? You know, howdy, how's it going? And every single one of them was like, they're just like getting mad. And then I was watching.
Kept getting big time.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time that would happen, though, I was watching her parents, and they were like, I could tell they were like visibly embarrassed.
Yeah.
And Nora eventually, you know, my ex-wife, she goes, you might want to stop doing that. And I was like, why? Like, I can say hi. Like, and she's like, it's just different. Like, can you just please stop doing that? Like, it's embarrassing them. So I stopped, and I was just kind of like you, like, I was
like whatever.
Off. Yeah, I was like, that's stupid, you know. But then, like, later on, I was like, you know what, like, I can respect that. It's just different. Like, they just don't do that unless you know them. You know what I mean? And so that's one of those things that
it is
like
man.
That,
and that ties into, that ties into recovery so much because, like, when I first got into recovery, it was this immediate like. Slap in the face of like, you're such a self-entitled like brat in
dude,
life.
That's so good, man.
And like, if you want, I can remember like I had a sponsor that was just really like on the nose with everything, and he was like, if you want to get sober, you need to lose the attitude.
Yep.
And it was so true because like as an addict, like so many of us. We like want what we want and we want it now.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I want it now.
I want the world.
Don't care how. And I want it now.
What's that from?
It's Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I want the world.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, like I think that it ties into recovery a lot because you just have to realize like the world doesn't revolve around you. Literally. Dude. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's go back. So like what's interesting about your story and mine too is that we are not the quintessential, like what people think about when you think of a drug addict, like, you know, like was like abused and like locked in a basement and, you know, shooting, had needles hanging out of our arm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So talk about your upbringing and kind of how this all happened.
And this is super important. It's funny, like I started writing a book at one point.
I remember.
And the very first like chapter, the very first excerpt was like, when you think about the word addict, like what do you think about? Like, are you thinking about like some kind of a gangster with like a New Era cap and like shades and he's in an alley, or you thinking about like some high roller and a dope, you know, a big mansion that's selling drugs, or you think about like a guy in prison that's tatted up, that's got teardrops for all the, you know, crimes he's committed.
You know what I think is the Requiem for a Dream type. You've seen that?
Yeah. And so like then you think about me, who's this like kid with a polo button up and khakis in 6th grade with a chubby little like bowl cut, with, you know, going to church every Sunday with his dentist parents and playing soccer and making straight A's and part of junior honor society.
Exactly.
And like that recipe does not necessarily match up with drug addict. And you know, it's I think it's more important for people to hear those stories.
Ooh,
because I think it really highlights like the bear trap that is drug addiction, right? Because like I grew up thinking that could never happen to me. I'd go to the same DARE meetings that we all went to and saw them with the fake drugs up there, and we're like, oh.
Right?
It's like the meme, like I would never
in a million years.
I would never.
This is stupid.
And it's interesting, like how it all transpired, because I like my actual like entrance into addiction wasn't even from that part. Like I actually didn't start recreationally using until after I had first used opiates. And so like for me, like the very first time I used opiates, and this is important because like this is the first drink that they talk about in recovery that sets off this chain of events. And it was when I was in 9th grade. Remember when I got shingles? I got shingles,
I didn't know that.
And it was all over my head, and I couldn't wear my helmet.
That was in 9th grade?
It was either in 9th or 10th grade.
It wasn't 10th.
No, it had to have been in 10th grade.
It was?
Yes, because it was at Central, and we were in the JV locker.
I don't remember that.
We were in the JV locker, and I couldn't play for like a week, but I got prescribed it was Vicodin or something, right? And at that point, like, I had no idea what that was, right? And like for me, like it was in an orange bottle, and I grew up thinking an orange bottle was good. Safe. It was good. It helped me, right? When I'm sick, Mom opens an orange bottle. She gives me something. Mom pours something from the orange bottle. I take it. It tastes gross, but then I feel better. And so even as a 10th grader, like I was still like in that time, like a little bit sheltered. There were guys that were already a little bit ahead. Right. People partying a little bit, starting to get into that. And we had dabbled in like drinking, but I wasn't there yet on the drugs thing. Because of the whole, like, I was kind of like straight edge in that regard.
Sure.
And I remember taking these pills, and I remember the first time I took them, I woke up and it said take 1 every 4 hours, and I was like, well, I'm a big guy, I'll take 2. You know, that it was like it was already this thing inside me telling me that I can take more.
I didn't know that.
And I
never knew that.
I took 2 of these pills, and I went in and I hung out with my dad. It was like a Saturday morning, and I just remember feeling so talkative, so funny, like I was literally like I had wings in my chest, and like it was this feeling of euphoria, and like that euphoric feeling, which every opiate addict knows the feeling. This like orgasmic feeling inside you was something that I would chase the rest of my life, you know, and I had no idea.
Wow.
And that was like I went through those pills, and I didn't really think anything of it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I did, weeks after being out of them, I thought, man, like that was real. Those were really helping me. And I was playing football, and I can remember being really like hurt or sore from football, lifting weights.
Yeah.
And just saying, you know what, I want to see if like we have any more of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And my parents were doctors, my dentists, so they had stuff. And I just remember looking for anything that, since I took it for pain, find something that says for pain.
Okay, yeah.
And that began, my investigative, attitude that I would have literally for the next 5 years, where. And you know this because you joined me eventually. I recruited you into this world. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, dude.
It turned into, and I won't go into like how it got there, but it got to the point where every house I would go to, I would immediately ask, "Hey, where's your parents' bedroom?" Or I'd find the parents' bedroom.
Yeah.
Or I'd go in the kitchen, and I had almost this mental blueprint of where the medicine cabinets were in homes.
Whoa,
they were either in the kitchen or in the master bathroom.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was uncanny because
how often would you find something like that?
Almost every time.
I bet, yeah.
Almost every time, because this was before the epidemic.
Yeah.
I did this before it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would walk into, there'd be a house party because there were so many house parties.
Exactly.
I'd immediately go find this.
Yeah.
Pop it open. Sometimes I'd find a bottle of 100 hydrocodone.
Wow.
A bottle of Tussinex, a bottle of hydrocodone.
I know you remember. I'm not going to say the name of the house we'd all go to.
Yeah.
The syrup.
Well, no, like you don't say the name, but that's that. I would say that house was such a catalyst of my addiction because when that happened, like so. The brother had he was allergic. It really made him sick, the pain meds, but he had been in a really bad accident.
Yeah.
And there were so much pain medicine in this home.
Whoa, okay,
and that was one of my first amends when I got sober.
Really?
Because I drove to their house in Santa Rita. I went and knocked on the door. He answered, the dad answered. And you know him.
Yeah.
Like he's not an intimidating guy, but he's definitely not someone that like he's got authority.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting him down and literally telling him point blank, "This is what I did to you and your family. And
really?
This is what I stole from you." And
dude, I never knew that.
And what's amazing about this, and they tell you this in recovery, is if you are genuine in your amends and you make your amends the right way. 9 times out of 10, they are immediately going to say, "You didn't need to do that, but thank you so much for doing it, and I'm proud of you, and I'm just glad you're okay."
Did he say that?
And he hugged me, and he said, "I appreciate this, and I respect it, but honestly, I'm just glad that you're here," And there's a lot of power in that, because there's a lot of people that aren't here,
That's right, dude.
But yeah, that's how it started. Like, and I think it's important because this disease, like, it doesn't have prejudice. It doesn't see the color of your skin. It doesn't see your bank account. It doesn't see how much money your parents have. If you've been abused, if your parents are divorced, this disease will get every one of us if we wander into its path.
That's right. Well, here's the other thing that I have trouble understanding. Is a lot of times, an addiction, they say in recovery that the using is not it's a symptom of really what's going on underneath, right?
Yeah.
And so the problem is the obsessive and compulsive mind, but oftentimes there's some type of trauma or something that's related to that's causing you to do that, some kind of pain, right? That you're trying to escape from or cover up or numb.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like you necessarally had that. So like,
well, I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I put my foot here?
Yeah, dude. Of course. Yeah.
It's like I don't want to be like a slob, but then I remember who you are, and I'm like, I'm fine. I can do whatever I want.
No, you're good.
No, I mean, so the book calls it a spiritual malady. Right?
Okay,
spiritual malady, and they talk about how we use all these things in our life sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling,
Yeah.
love, relationships, work, money as a round peg that we're trying to fit in this square hole.
Exactly.
Right? And that square hole is this spiritual malady that only a spiritual intervention and a spiritual awakening can fix. Only
Okay.
God can fit in that
That's
hole,
right.
as I call it, my higher power. For me, like, I think what that was really was I had a lot of tremendously deep pain from a couple things. I think one thing was I grew up overweight, right?
Yeah.
And I handled that in a way that I think you handle a lot of things, and that's comedy. I walked into a room, and if I could make the first joke about my weight,
Yep.
you couldn't.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And so as long as I self-deprecated and as long as I knocked myself down,
Yeah.
you don't have that chance.
Yep.
But the problem with that is that the pain is still there, right?
Yeah.
And
you were a
even-
master at that. But you're right. It doesn't do
I
anything about the pain.
I was a master at it, but again, it's like putting bubble gum on a leaf
Yeah.
because you look over there and there's just another one over there. And
Yep.
so the idea that, like, I was afraid to go to a swimming pool because I didn't want to take my shirt
Yeah.
off. And when I got in the locker room with other guys, even in my high school years,
Yeah.
seeing other guys that
Right.
didn't have, like, flab and
Sure.
fat and were like, I literally was disgusted with myself.
Really?
I had this, like, dysmorphia about myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I hid it so well,
Yeah.
but I think there was a lot of pain there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And the other thing is, I mean, look, I grew up and I don't blame my parents for anything.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I was really hard on myself because of the way I think that I grew up in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looked like for me is that, like, my dad and me bonded over sports.
Yeah.
He was the best coach. He was the best partner in that. He would buy me any gear I needed. He would
Yep.
practice with me 24 hours in a day. He would do
Dang.
anything that I needed to make myself better.
Yep.
But he was so invested in that, and he was so competitive that when I didn't do well, it hurt him.
Really?
And the way that he handled that is it hurt our relationship. And
Yeah.
our relationship, and not his love for me, but his approval seemingly came from whether or not I struck out, or whether
Right.
or not I blocked a goal, or whether or not I scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
while I know that in his heart of hearts, like, that's not true,
Right.
I know that when I struck out and I look over at my dad, he walked away with his head down. And I know that if I hit a base hit, he looked at me and smiled
Yeah.
at me and was waiting, to hug me after the game.
Yeah.
And there was some pain from that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying that caused this spirituality,
Yeah.
but there was a lot going on as
Yeah.
a kid where you look at this kid and you think, man, like, he's got a lot going on.
Exactly.
He's doing great. He plays sports. He's
Yeah.
an awesome goalie on this state
Right.
soccer team, and he's making all A's.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of pain inside
Yeah.
already, like, forming, and I think that was the spiritual malady
Yeah.
of really not being comfortable in my own skin.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And when I put that medicine in my body, I was so comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
And for the
dude,
first time,
that's what it does.
for the first time ever, I wasn't afraid to be myself.
Yeah.
I felt strong enough. I felt good enough. I didn't need your approval because I felt approved inside.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and so, like, yeah, I don't know. It is a symptom,
weird,
though.
dude.
It is
Yeah.
a symptom because here's the thing. I will celebrate 19 years in March.
That's
Okay,
incredible, dude.
completely
Congrats,
sober.
man. Yeah.
And
Wow.
what I will tell you about that is that I still struggle
Really?
with the character defects
Character defects.
that
of course.
I struggled with when I was drinking and before.
Yeah.
In a sense of, like,
Wow.
laziness,
Yeah.
self-hatred, self-loathing,
Okay.
self-will,
Yeah.
jealousy, selfishness, dishonesty. I still struggle with those things. Those are the
Makes sense.
problem.
Yeah. That's right.
Alcohol, if alcohol was my problem, I'd be the fucking president.
Yeah.
because I don't use alcohol. I know. Alcohol's the
exactly.
very last thing that I think of. So that's
same
not
here.
the problem.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have no problems.
Exactly.
I'd be on top of the world.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I love my life.
Yeah.
But I have hard days, right? So
Yeah.
that just proves the theory that
Exactly.
like that's a symptom.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the thing, like if I'm not, I used to use drugs and alcohol as my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're taking medicine and it's working, you're okay. That stopped working. I found out I couldn't take that anymore.
Yeah.
And so I started taking God and AA and helping people and doing the next best thing and spiritually building myself up. And that's the medicine that worked. Now, the minute that I stopped taking that dose of medicine, I start to fall back into old behaviors. I start to fall back into laziness and dishonesty and selfishness because I'm not taking medicine. You can't expect for
really
your disease to be treated.
Yeah.
Because untreated alcoholism looks either like jail, death, or a very angry sober person. An irritable, discontented, sober person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're not treating the alcoholism.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. The sobriety's great, but it doesn't matter if you're not practicing a program
That's
of
what
recovery.
I finally figured out, and it was funny because I kept asking people. So I walked into rooms, to AA rooms and NA rooms, and I would get really mad, dude, because I'd see these people picking up these chips for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they're like, you know, not to judge you, but I'm like, how has this guy figured it out? Like, what are you doing to figure it out, and I can't figure this out?
Yeah.
Like, what's the secret? And finally, I had a counselor tell me, he said, man, you are really overcomplicating this. Like, you think it's some, like, intense, like, intricate puzzle you're trying. He said, just think about it. Like, you said it yourself that you can put clean time together, but you always fall back. Why? You're not working a program. Like, it's as simple as that. The guys that are doing it are proactively working a program. They're chasing recovery like they chase the drug. And I said, man, that's it. And he said, that's it. Like,
well, and the other thing is, and I had to learn this too, is like, there's not a finish line.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Like I think I wanted so badly to like be there.
Yeah.
And to like, when
Yeah.
will I have it?
Right.
When will I do it? And like, there's a semblance of that in the book, right? They talk about the promises. You know, we'll be able to handle situations that we couldn't handle, and we'll know a peace and joy. I don't have them memorized, but so there's a semblance of that and being recovered. But like the minute that I finally realized this isn't an ends to a mean,
right?
Like it's not something that's a chore. It's something that I am able to do, and I'm lucky to be able to be a part of. Yeah. And there isn't an end game. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's when I really started to get this thing.
Okay.
And it's the comparison thing. We talked about this. Like I did the same thing. I'm like, man, how does this guy? If I could just have this guy's life, or this guy's, how is he doing this? Like, I've seen him like talk shit about people and gossip, and this guy cheated on his girlfriend. How's he sober? And I remember, like, I had a sponsor tell me something. It was like, you're so worried about everyone else's recovery that you're over here doing all this stuff, and your recovery is like a kid that's sticking a fork into an electrical socket. Yeah. Pay attention to your own recovery. Yeah. Stop worrying about other people's. Yeah. And when I finally was like, dang, you're right. Like I'm so worried about everyone else and why are they able to do it and I'm not. Yeah. And that was really helpful. Yeah. It's hard though. And you know what? AA is hard. Yeah. Here's the thing, like, people struggle with AA, and it's because, like, I think if you go and you walk into one AA meeting and you walk in and you do it and then you go home and you're like, well, I tried it. It sucks. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. You went to one meeting. Yeah. There was probably some asshole in there complaining about his boss. Yeah. That's not AA. Right. That's not solution. That's not recovery. Yeah. Like, you have to treat this like you did drugs. I know. Would you have walked into one house and looked in one master bathroom cabinet for drugs and be like, well, I guess there's no more drugs in Texas. No. Yeah, that's so true, dude. You get your ass out there and you'd find those drugs. Yeah. What movie is that from? It's Billy Madison.
Oh, it is?
Well, it's,
No, it's not.
from The Dog. You don't just look for one day and call it quits. You got to think, I got to find this dog. I got to find this puppy. You get your ass out
when
there
he,
and
yeah, when
find
he's
that
telling the
puppy who lost its way. Anyway.
Yeah, I forgot
you-
about that part though. Yeah.
You got to treat recovery the same way you did your addiction. You got to hustle.
Oh,
If
man,
you
that's,
don't-
that's it.
If
That's
you
the
don't
key.
find a solution in this meeting,
Yeah.
fuck that. I don't care. It's 8 o'clock.
Right.
There's another meeting at 9 over here on Sherwood.
Yeah.
I'm going to that one. You go to the 9
Okay,
o'clock.
yeah.
There's nothing here. Shit. Oh well. I
You're
guess
searching
I guess
for it.
I guess I'm gonna have to wait till the midnight meeting that's on
Yeah.
the other part of town. In the meantime, I'm gonna go feed a homeless guy and talk to him about how I can make his day better.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be doing the
See, that's
things.
the key I couldn't figure out. Dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're a drug addict. You want
Yeah.
the easy way out. You
Right,
want to go.
right. Like, okay, I did
You want
it.
to go.
I figured it out.
You want to go fill up your cup.
Yeah.
Drink it, and you want to be done.
Yeah,
and that's like
Yeah.
it's like watching a baby grow. Like if I were to go and say, this baby, I've been watching it all day and it's not done shit. It doesn't look older. It doesn't have any more hair.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's a baby.
Yeah.
It takes time. Like you can't watch a baby grow, but come back
Yeah.
in 6 months.
Right.
And as long as you've been taking care of
Yeah.
it and nurturing it,
Big changes.
it's going to have a head of hair.
Yeah.
It's going to be saying a few words. It's going to be
Whoa,
crawling around.
that's good.
And that's
Yeah.
how recovery is.
It is.
If you
Wow.
sit there and you're like, well, where are the promises?
Yeah.
I want to be able to. I want a job and,
Yeah.
and a career and a family, and I want to not have to worry about
Right.
triggers anymore.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's been 2 weeks. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't sit and watch a baby grow. You've
Yeah.
got to sit and give it patience. So, I mean, look, I had to go through recovery a few times before I understood that.
Me
You
too.
know?
I'm still trying to figure it out, dude. It's just, I still have this, like this. It's like, I guess you could call it a fear. It's like, am I gonna slip again? Like because there have been times where I thought I had it figured out.
Yeah.
And I clearly didn't. Do you ever feel like that after 19 years or no?
So, and I think that's like the book talks about cunning, baffling, powerful.
Yeah.
And if you like, a lot of times in early recovery, I would read the big book and it would just be words, and I'd be like, okay, I read it, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I really started like dissecting these words and thinking about them like as if they were like a part of my life. And you think about the word cunning, and what do you think of? Like when I think of cunning, I think of like a Pink Panther cartoon or
exactly.
something. I think of
Yeah.
like this fucking
Like,
sneaky
exactly.
little, like something that's gonna
Yeah.
like trick me and
Exactly.
waiting around the corner to
Yeah.
pull the rug out from me.
Yep.
If I think about baffling,
Yeah.
I think about like a calculus problem that I look
Right.
at and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even
good.
know. I don't even know
Where to
how
begin, yeah.
how this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Powerful. When I think about powerful, I think about like a dictator or something.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
Or like a wizard that can
Yeah,
literally
wizard.
make something
Or a Power
happen
Ranger, yeah.
by waving a wand.
Yeah.
So if I take all those things and then I apply them to my disease,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think about what I've been through, it makes a lot of sense. I will my disease will literally trick me into doing anything, thinking anything,
Yeah.
justifying
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And so when I get to this place where I'm like, you know what? I'm comfortable. Like I finally did it. Like
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
I catch myself immediately and I think about the cartoon waiting around the corner to like pull the
Yeah.
tripwire and laugh at me when I trip. My disease
Yeah.
is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And I never am going to have this. Now, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I'm like
Wow,
sitting and sleeping with one eye open.
Right.
And like,
yeah.
it just means that like I can't let up on, again, the conditioning of this program and of myself. Like
Yeah.
I can't just
Yeah.
decide, oh, I'm gonna go start to gamble, and
okay,
I'll
yeah.
start drinking 10 non-alcoholic beers a day, and then
Yeah.
there's these little things that like I think can be cocky
Okay.
in recovery.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And like for me, I'm not gonna mess with the devil. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with the devil.
Right,
I don't want
yeah.
anything to do with the devil.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
exactly,
gonna,
right?
I'm not gonna like throw something at you and turn the other way. Like,
Right,
I
yeah.
don't want anything to do
Or like
with
have
you.
a Ouija board out or
So
something.
so yeah, like I do a lot of these weird things. Like I'll never eat a brownie at a work event.
Why?
Never. I
Why?
will never eat.
Wait, what? What?
Because it could be a weed brownie.
Oh.
I mean, and I'm a little, and you could think that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I could see someone be like, we put weed brownies.
I know,
in it,
absolutely.
Like, and then
that happened to me one time. It wasn't a brownie, but I thought I was hitting nicotine, and it was at Angelo place, and it was weed, dude. And
so
I got
that's what I'm saying.
But it was, I mean, this is I just didn't like weed. You know? I was like, dude, why would you do that to me?
Well, I mean, there are things that
Daniel Mitchell's roommate or something. Anyway,
oh yeah, I remember.
Shout out to Dan.
We love Dan.
Yeah, but go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, so like I do these things that some people probably think are crazy. Like Daniela always takes the first sip of my drink.
Interesting. Yeah.
If it's club soda, if it's Diet Coke, if we get it at a public place, she takes the first drink.
That's cool.
Because I don't ever know what's gonna happen, you know. And so like I do have like. It is funny you ask that. Daniela always she often is like, you know, do you think there's any way, you know,
what?
Like, that you're gonna relapse? Like,
Do
you think there's any way?
Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, well, yeah,
it is possible.
I think it's possible.
I've seen people with 20, 30 years.
It's
it happens,
totally
you know?
possible.
Yeah,
totally possible.
Well, I mean, do you ever though, like, just as a way to mitigate or like to so you can fight it if it does happen, that temptation? Do you ever think like, what would have to happen to actually for me to do that, to like drink or something, like maybe at a party?
I've thought about it.
Somebody's like just one sip.
No.
What would it be?
None of that. Everyone in my family dying in a wreck that I caused. I don't. And I'm
like
not saying.
crazy.
And even then, I go by the theory that there is nothing bad enough that a drink won't make worse.
Oh yeah.
Like there's that. Like for me, like I can even think about, and it's terrible to think about. Like if I were in a wreck and it literally everyone in my life was in the car and they're gone and it's because of me and I'm unscathed.
Dude.
Like that's probably the worst thing that could happen to me.
Yeah.
And even that, like, I don't know. I like it. Here's the thing. If I were gonna go out, it wouldn't be drinking. I would probably like just end it before I would drink, because to me drinking is worse than being dead. Like,
dang.
Like it's I can't even imagine going back to that cage.
Yeah.
If you were to talk to a victim of
that's crazy, dude.
of kidnapping that had been locked in this basement, you know, for 10 years or something. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing myself to that. That's way worse.
Yeah.
But that's like how I feel about my addiction, is I never want to go back to that cage.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have the key to that and I can stop that from happening, I'd rather be dead than go to that cage. So I don't know. I mean, the answer is there's nothing that I can like think of that would make me think, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is I have put some accountability safeguards in place where, like, I've told Daniela, like, if you see any of these things,
cool, dude,
check my phone, check my drawers, give me a drug test, which we've never. I'm talking about things like if I go.
Man, that's good.
Well, yeah, because I've been in relationships where I was using and I've pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. You've done it.
Yeah.
You've done it to me.
I know.
So like that, like for me, like you have to do things like and like in early recovery, it was deleting drug dealers' phone numbers, because once you delete that number, and then we know where they live, but like that's a big thing. The first time I got sober, I didn't delete those numbers,
dude.
And it's because because I was like, well, what if?
Yeah, I know.
What if?
Right.
And it's like,
how
there is
weird
no.
Is that, man? Yeah.
Well, that's your disease. Kind of baffling, powerful. They're gonna leave the door cracked open.
Yeah.
So that they can later on push it in and walk right in.
God, dude. Yeah.
And you got to shut those doors.
Yeah. There's a situation that happened. I was, with someone for like 5 years who was clean for like 5 years. I mean, you know who this is. And she 5 years, was like heading up meetings and
man,
and just left that door open by leaving a number, and just like you're talking about, which I was so like blown away by, like that somebody could be that proactively clean and in recovery and still not delete a certain. It's just crazy what it'll do. Like you're saying, like we leave just that one thing, just what if, in case. And for me, what it's been is is like when I'm trying to escape something. That's what I've come to realize. Is the good thing about it is I was talking to my counselor the other day, and it hit me that I finally got to the place in my life and in my recovery where I understand my addiction. I understand why it started. I understand my triggers. And she actually pointed it out. She goes, you have a really good handle on this now, like about why you do this and what your triggers are and what you need to avoid. I was talking about this time of year with her. I said, in the past, historically, for whatever reason, I mean, I might have some idea why, but for whatever reason, when the holidays come around, that's when I've historically had like big relapses. And we were just discussing that and, you know, some things to put in place to safeguard from that. And it hit me. I was like, man, you're right. Like, I really do understand this now. And she said, now it's just about implementation. Like, you got a handle on it, but you got to implement all these things like you're talking about. So for you, like, what are some things that you've put in place like that like safeguards? Are there any besides what you talked about, I guess? Is there anything else like for instance, I'll give you an example. Like, when it comes to drinking, one thing I don't understand, or I didn't for a while, was like, you know, if your drug of choice was an alcohol, mine's not. I never had a problem with alcohol. I was trying to understand why it was so important that I not drink alcohol either. You know, and it was that it would lead, it's a slippery slope, and it would lead to that. Because I can't imagine having one drink and then being in an alley a couple hours later looking for dope or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is the most important part of recovery.
Why?
Because this is the chemical allergy.
What?
This is the single most important element for anyone to understand about addiction.
Okay.
Is that you and I have a chemical allergy.
Yeah.
I wear a medical tag that says Montgomery allergic to opiates. I wear it.
Dude, that's right. I remember you told me about that.
I've worn it for 19 years, 18
that's
years.
That's crazy, dude.
And
that's cool.
Here's why. And I'm gonna explain this to you as if you were a third grader.
Okay. Yeah.
Me and my wife go out to dinner. Okay? And she is allergic to shellfish. Okay? We go in, and it's this fancy restaurant. They don't speak English, and I'm trying to be cool, and I'm like, we're going to have the special, you know? And they're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yep, the special.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's in it.
Yeah.
So we get it, and it looks great. Food looks incredible. We eat. Turns out there's shellfish in there, right?
Oh.
Nothing happens to me. I eat that food. I go on about my night. Now, when Daniela puts that in her body, something is going to happen. Now, in her case, her throat is going to close up. Her face is going to swell up.
Is she really allergic to shellfish?
No.
Okay, yeah.
She's going to asphyxiate.
Right.
She's not going to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
She could die.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's going to be immediate. Well, for her, it's immediately.
Yeah.
But, like, her body's going to react.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can say to stop that.
Right.
There's nothing I can do to stop that other than an EpiPen. That reaction happens no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to a different scenario. We go out to eat, and I'm allergic to wine.
Okay.
I have a chemical allergy to drugs and alcohol. I am allergic to drugs and alcohol. We both order a glass of wine. Daniela drinks her glass of wine. She goes on about her night. Nothing happens to her.
Yeah.
She's going to go home. When I drink that glass of wine, something happens to me. And it is a phenomena of craving. I taste that, I feel that, and what happens to my body, no matter what, is my body says, I need more.
Whoa.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it may not be that night.
Right.
I may not, like to your point, I may not go shoot up in the alley.
Yeah.
But I can 100% guarantee you that what my mind is going to do is it's going to mentally obsess.
Yeah.
And then that phenomena of craving is going to kick in. And there's going to be a spiritual malady that's happening in the background, all three parts.
Good. Oh, that's
and
good.
And my allergy is going to say you need more. And so maybe it's a week, but the next week we go out for dinner, and you know what my brain says? You had a glass of wine and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So why can't you have another glass of wine?
Okay.
So I order a glass of wine, just one. Go on about my day. I make the biggest sale I've made that next week.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happens.
Right.
We go out to celebrate. I have a glass of wine. And I'm like, look, it's been half a month.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. I'm not shooting up.
Right.
I'm not doing things in an alley.
Yeah.
So I am going to get 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
And that cycle continues until I'm in the alley shooting up. Because I'm going to justify. No matter what,
okay,
I'm going to need more. I have a chemical allergy.
Okay, yeah.
And that allergy, the way my body reacts is I need more.
Yeah.
I need to feel that feeling I felt as a 10th grader
Exactly.
on my living room couch
Yeah.
when I had wings in my chest.
Yeah, dude.
I want to feel approval. I want to feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
And that has made me comfortable. And there's no amount of talking or thinking or doing that can out-talk. You can't out-talk an allergy. You can't.
Dude, that's interesting to think
And
of
so,
it that
like,
way.
it is when I finally understood that I have that allergy, it made the whole idea of not having one drink.
I get it, dude. Yeah.
It made it make so much more sense
That's
because
cool.
it talks about in the book how the biggest obsession for alcoholics
Yeah.
is that one day we will be able to drink like a normal drinker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
yeah, yeah.
obsession that we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
This time,
Right.
we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
we'll make up any bullshit story
Yeah.
as to why we're gonna be different this time.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
we're not.
Yeah.
We are different. We have a chemical allergy.
Yeah.
And like that was the biggest part about recovery because here's the
that's
thing, like
interesting.
you have to realize when I got sober, I was in a fraternity. I
Yep.
was living in the frat house. My parents were paying for everything.
I mean, you
I
had it all
I had
at
it
your
all.
fingertips, dude.
I
Yeah.
had this like
Yeah.
elaborate drug scheme where I was
Yeah.
selling and
Yeah.
making money, and it was a whole supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
And so to go from that to like pushing a cart at HEB in a parking lot and being told you can never have a sip of alcohol again, even at your wedding. That's always the most popular question. What about your wedding?
Really?
Don't you want a glass
Yeah,
of champagne at your
champagne,
wedding?
yeah.
It's like, what is it about this champagne? People I don't give
Yeah,
a shit about that. I want the
know.
Oxycontin. you know?
I know, right? Exactly.
But like
Yeah.
that was so hard for me to grasp.
Yeah.
Because I was like, ever again?
Me too.
And I would
Yeah.
have guys that would call. I remember I was a year sober, and I had a guy call me and talk to Andrew Solomon. I think
Yeah,
was
yeah,
one of my.
oh, yeah.
And like I remember him asking me. I think it was him.
Yeah.
I remember him asking like, "Hey, like, when you get home from work, though, like, don't
Yeah,
you ever
yeah.
just want to have like
Right.
a beer?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, let me ask you something, Andrew. Whenever you get home from work, do you ever just want to walk into your backyard and find a piece of dog shit and just rub it in your face? And he's like,
yeah.
no, like, well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, Andrew, that's what I think when you ask me if I just want to have one beer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's repulsive.
Right,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because I learned about that allergy finally.
Uh-huh.
And now that I know, here's the deal, Matt. Like, if I told you you're allergic to peanut butter,
Uh-huh.
are you gonna be like, this time it's gonna be different?
No.
I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna go
Right.
I'm gonna sneak into Walgreens. I'm gonna get some peanut butter.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
would
have one
never.
scoop. It's one scoop.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you know
like,
what's
so
gonna
why
happen.
are you?
Yeah.
Why would you go out there and take a pill or smoke a
Exactly,
joint,
yeah.
or and be like, well, this was never my drug of choice. It's
Yeah.
it's almond butter or it's
Right,
whatever.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
dude, you're allergic to nuts. Like
Yeah.
you can't have any of the butters. You can't have
Exactly.
that shit. In fact, don't have jelly because that makes you think about
Right,
peanut
yeah.
butter. You know.
That's a good analogy, yeah. Dang, dude, yeah. Man. That's crazy.
You like that?
Yeah, I like the analogy. I like the allergy, you know. I don't know. I guess I've never thought about it in quite that way, you know.
But
where
but
no
hold
matter
on.
What?
But is it true?
What do you mean?
Do you feel like that's true for you?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's one of the like. It's kind of hard to debate that.
Exactly. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Because here's the thing, like I meet people that I have met in recovery, and look, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that have a problem with drinking,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get sober, and they were a problem drinker, and now they can have a drink once a year.
Yeah.
That's fine, but to me, based on my experience, you're not an alcoholic.
Right.
If you can do that, you're not an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
So who cares? At this
Right.
point, it doesn't matter. You're fine. You're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that story is then people like you are like, well, I know a guy who smokes weed and he's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now I can smoke weed. And it's no, that's just another excuse for you to get high.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of one of those things it's not, to me, it's not debatable, but and it's also very eye-opening.
It is. But also, like, one of the things I like about your story when you've told your full story before was I think it was the second time you went to rehab. Because it took 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, so the first time it was like you said.
Yeah.
There were so many people in my life that were worried.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Genuinely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think it was Kyle and
Yeah.
Ryan and if Nick and some of them that OU night, the night before the OU game,
Yeah.
we're in Dallas with my sister, and like I was like in the corner like zombied out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I had taken who knows what, and they told Natalie like, "Hey, your brother's in bad shape.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he's taking like 20 pills at a time. Like he's gonna OD. He's gonna get arrested."
Yep.
And so like that time, I went to rehab. My parents were waiting for me when I got back from OU.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember like cleaning out my frat room and, and like my dad grabbed my like bong, which was like a high-tech, super expensive,
I know,
top of the line bong.
Yeah.
And was putting it in a box to dispose of. And I was like, whoa, careful, Pop. Like,
Yeah.
Gonna need that when I get back. And my mom was like,
That's
like,
weird.
My mom was like, you don't get it.
No,
dude."
yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? It's weed.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
And she's like, Hunter, you're
had
not
no
doing
idea yet.
any of this. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's not pills.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you had
so
no
like
idea.
I was so naive and uneducated and unaware.
Yeah.
And like, even when I got out of treatment.
Do you remember that? I remember you were, I was still using, and you were like, hey, I need to get some pills for a friend of mine, and we'd go do that or whatever, and I would help you do that, and we did that several times, and of course I was like, why is he getting them for a friend of his? He just got out of rehab, and obviously, knew what was going on, but I remember the phone call. You did it twice. You probably called several people, but I remember picking up the phone and you being like, I got a bomb to drop on you, and I was like, what? And you're like, I'm going to rehab, and I was like, what? Dang. And the second time was like even more shocking.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was like, dang, man, maybe he can't get this figured out. Like, and I was like, am I that bad off too? And it was kind of shocking and eye opening. Like, man, we're worse off than I thought. I guess like this is serious.
Man. Yeah, and not like at that point. I went to rehab that second time, and I don't want to get into it, but there was some legal stuff that was essentially about to happen.
Right. Thank God it
And like
didn't.
my dad called me and was like, "Hey, we're done with you.
Whoa.
Like we're done. We will fund. I will.
Dang,
I
dude.
will send the rehab money if you are there. I'll pay for it. But we're
Right.
done with you." My advice, and he told me what he knew about the whole situation with the legal stuff, and then he said, if you're in a rehab center and they come get you there, it's gonna look a lot better to a judge.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm like, he's right.
Yeah.
And so I went. I probably called you and Stuart and a few other people. I don't even remember calling you.
Yeah.
I went to treatment and I smuggled in 32.
That's right. Yeah. Tell this. This is
I
interesting.
smuggled in 32 Lortab.
Yeah.
And my thought process. This was before Suboxone and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
My first time around, I didn't have Suboxone. I didn't have really. I mean, I had like they give you medicine so you don't like die.
Yeah.
But withdrawal is the worst thing
It
in
is.
the world.
Yeah. It's the absolute worst thing.
And so I remember thinking like, okay, typical addict, I'm going to do this my way and I'm going to bring my own drugs in so I can detox
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Which is just such an
I know,
asinine.
it's so crazy.
It's
Yeah.
such an asinine
Yeah,
thing.
it is,
To
yeah.
think I'm going to hold on
I know.
to like
Yeah,
32
right.
and take 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so
That's
funny.
hilarious, actually. Yeah.
Anyway, so I get there, and I remember thinking, okay, I'll take like, I started trying to do the math,
Yeah.
and I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way this is going to work. And furthermore, if I want to do this, I better do it right.
Yeah.
So I better get rid of these drugs.
Yep.
And
Dude.
I wouldn't want to flush them. If I'm going to go out, I'm going out with
That's
a bang.
Right. That's right.
And I remember putting those pills
All
in my
32.
mouth. And I did this thing that was just, I used to do this thing, and it was very weird.
Yeah.
To this day, it's I think about it. I would put the pills in my mouth and look at myself in the mirror with the mouth full of pills. If I ever write a book, it's going to be a man with a mouth. And I don't know what it was, but I did it, and I put all these pills in my mouth and looked at myself, white walls of this rehab, and just stared at myself. And then I got water from the bathroom sink and just took them on. I just was like, all right, here we go. And that's the last thing I remember. Ambulance came and got me.
That's right.
And it wasn't even, here's the thing, like, I don't even think I OD'd from the hydrocodone part of it. I think it was Tylenol. Like, I think my liver shut down.
Yeah.
Because if you think about, like, the amount of acetaminophen.
That's right.
32.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so,
Why? What were you experiencing? What was happening to you? Were you like
I think
foaming
so.
at
They
the mouth?
they told me that I was.
rest-
They told me that I was like leaning on the wall when they came in to get me, and then that I was unresponsive.
Yeah.
So they know how.
Yeah.
They knew what was going on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I woke up. I actually woke up. I think I woke up, like, came to in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember thinking, you have a choice.
Yeah. This
like,
is the part I wanted to
You
ask.
can either go back to Austin, like hitchhike to Austin, and just hustle and go couch to couch, because I had plenty of people.
Yeah.
Until you die.
Yeah.
Like, and it was not a just go back to life. It was just go use till you die.
Yeah. Just go hard.
Just
That's
die,
it.
use until you die. Like, surf your way into
Yeah.
heaven.
Right.
Or you can, like, do this. And I remember thinking...
Only two choices.
I remember thinking, like... I remember being, like, almost pissed off and thinking all of these voices that I had heard in AA and from these people that had recovered saying, like, the disease is, you're powerless, the disease is bigger than you, and, like, you don't have any power. And I remember, like, being the stubborn, competitive guy that I was and being like,
yeah.
fuck that.
Right.
Like, this disease isn't more powerful than me. I will, I'll show them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember I got down, I started praying.
Yeah. I like this part.
And I started just, like, almost like yelling at God.
Whoa.
And being like, if you're there, I've been talking to you and praying to you.
Yeah.
Dressing up in khaki shorts and loafers and going to visit you every Sunday since
Right.
I was a child, and going to summer camp and
Yeah.
singing to your guitar.
Yeah.
If you're there, I need your help.
Yeah.
I need you
Yeah.
to meet me halfway, because I am like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And I was cussing and yelling, and then I got it out of my system, and I took my bag, I set it on the bed, I opened the door, I walked down the hall, and they're like, Hunter, get back here, like, you're not out of detox yet. And I was like, I'm going to class. And I guess I did it in a way that they were like, okay. And I went to class, and I never turned back. I did every single thing that they told me to do in Kerrville for the next year. I did. I went to every meeting.
Yeah.
I did the step work. I met with my sponsor. I did the things that I was uncomfortable doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I poured everything I had into getting sober.
Yep.
And that's when it worked. When I went at it with they call it the desperation of a drowning man. If you think about literally when you're drowning, you will do anything for air.
Reaching for anything that's
and
there.
That's what I was. And I can remember, I remember there was a guy at rehab, and it's funny because this guy was there before the OD, and I was getting my vitals done, and he was up at the front. He was this really funny black guy. His name's James.
Mm-hmm.
He's now like one of my good friends, but he was like everyone loved him.
Yeah.
And he was friends with the intake people, and he's always up there messing around with them. And he saw me getting my intake vitals done. And he walked over to me and he goes, "Oh man." And I was like, "What?" I was like, I was all like,
yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, nothing." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "My name's Hunter. What's your name?"
Yeah.
He's like, "My name's James." And he's like, and he just looked at me, and I was like, "What's this guy doing?"
Yeah.
And he walked up to me and he goes, "Hunter, you got a whole lot of living left to do."
Dang.
And I will never forget that. I will never forget that. And I still text James to this day, and I'm like, "Dude, you were right."
Yeah.
Like, if I look back to that day, and that was like 2007.
Wow, man.
And he was right. I had
He was right.
I had a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah,
and I think that's a message that, like, there's so many people out there that I talk to that are like, "Dude, I'm worthless. Nobody needs me.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
Right.
me. What am I? No one would notice if I were gone."
Yeah.
Whether it's someone who's suicidal or someone who's depressed or someone who's strung out and they don't think there's any hope. And I try to tell them, like, you have no idea.
Right.
Like, you do. They do need you. And
Exactly.
there's so much left for you to do.
Yeah.
You just can't see it right now.
Dude, I know, right? Yeah.
And if I could just give people in early sobriety like a 5-day trial.
Dude, I know, right? Oh, that's good. Yeah.
They would pay the subscription.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good.
Like,
I love that. Yeah.
They would.
That's
they would
fantastic.
join.
Yeah.
They would do it.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. And
God,
but
good.
it's really hard because you can't bottle this shit up.
I know.
Yeah. And I wish you could. And unfortunately, like, the alcohol industry, they've bottled their own version of it up, and they're pushing it pretty well.
Exactly. Dude. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's
God, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. It's just amazing, dude, that we're sitting here right now talking about all that,
Well, it is, because I mean, there were a lot of times when I thought about you, and I thought, like, well, he's gone.
Dang, yeah.
Well, because I've lost so many people at this point that it's not that I'm numb to it. It's just that I expect the worst from this disease. I expect the worst. That's how terrible this disease is.
Yeah.
When I talk to moms that are trying to get their kids in treatment, or their husbands, or when I talk to husbands that are worried about their sisters or their wives or whatever, I tell them, like, you got to be ready for the worst.
Do? Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a hopeless way. I mean that in a way that this disease doesn't mess around. Like, and it's not a movie.
Exactly, right?
You know, this is real life. And so I think people that are fighting this need to understand that, especially the people that are trying to get clean, because I do think a lot of times it's underestimated.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like with you, I think we all go through this thing where we look on the inmate roster, we look on busted.com, mugshot.com, whatever it is, and we're like, there's this feeling that you feel when you see your friend's face on there. You know?
Yep. It's horrible, man.
And we all have gone through it, and we see that person, and we're like, we're like, man, I can't believe this happened. And then it's thank God it's not me.
Exactly.
You know, like there's that selfish thing of like, that could have been me.
It's true.
And I mean, it's happened with you. It's happened to so many people.
I know.
That I went and worked out with Wesley this morning at the gym.
Oh, you did? That's awesome, man.
I can't tell you how many times I was on the phone with Wesley.
Yeah.
And I'd get off the phone with him and I'd be like,
yeah, I know.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I know.
You know?
Exactly, I know.
Is that the last time I'm gonna talk to him?
Yeah. I know.
So I'm glad you're here, man.
Thank God. Yeah, man, me too. I'm glad we both are, dude. What man, we got a lot to be grateful for, but what are 3 things that you're genuinely grateful for right now in your life? Top 3.
Oof. Man. I gotta say my sobriety is obvious. It's funny, like sobriety is a number one that it's kind of like it's grayed out in the application.
What do you mean?
You can't change that choice.
Oh yeah.
Like no matter what.
Yeah.
When I pray.
Yeah.
Anything I do that has to do with gratitude.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Sobriety is always that.
Exactly.
At the top.
Yeah.
And it's always the most important thing. And I struggled with that early on. I was like, you expect me to put sobriety before my future wife?
Right, yeah.
And you expect my sobriety to be more important than my son?
Uh-huh, yeah.
And now that I have a little bit more mature mindset about it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because without it, none of that's possible.
None of that. All of that goes to shit.
Yeah, man.
And I have a wife that understands that. The second one's family.
Nice.
And so I lump family all into one thing. My kids, my wife, my actual family.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm just so incredibly lucky. I mean, Daniela, you've met Daniela.
She's
you know
amazing,
the impact she's had on me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the kids.
Yeah, dude.
The kids are just, they're healthy. They're so smart.
Yeah.
They definitely test me.
Yeah.
but like I just like am so lucky to have them. They have a great mom. She does a really good job.
That's
of
cool.
Being a mother to them, and that's important.
It is.
So family is number 2. I think number 3 has got to be my health, and I don't
so underrated.
I don't just mean my sobriety, my health. I mean like I play soccer like 3 times a week.
That's awesome.
And I'm like an old man, and I'm out here playing soccer with these
20-year-old,
Can
you keep up with them?
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Easily?
Yeah. I'm not
there
bad.
any really?
Yeah.
Man, that's cool to hear. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've gotten hurt a few times.
You have?
But the point is, like, you have to really, and Daniela is a fitness instructor. I remember she used to always say, like, give your body gratitude for being able to come out and do this
seriously
today. And it's like, it's so important because like movement to me is so meaningful,
dude. It is, right?
And
until you lose that.
To the point of I got to be careful about how meaningful it is to me, because I can let that get into an addiction. It's in and of itself.
What do you mean? Like, for sure.
I mean, like becoming addicted to,
sure.
Soon I'm playing soccer 10 times a week.
Right.
And Danielle's like,
you're quitting your job, trying to go semi-pro. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you got to be careful as an addict, but like movement is just so important. And
it is.
Like, I am so lucky that I remember I had some reproductive surgeries. And I remember thinking like, God, I would hate to be in a hospital bed for something that's not like, but like for something that's an emergency surgery or a heart surgery or
exactly
something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's happening left and right.
I know, man. I know.
And so like when I think about my health and like the fact that I don't deal with that and I have the ability and means to take care of myself, that's an important part of this.
Yeah.
Because I'm very lucky and privileged to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people. A lot of people. It's not just about the willpower to go to the gym. Like they don't have the means. They don't have health insurance to do preventative care. So it's like, it's not just about the want.
Right,
it's
exactly.
about the fact that like I'm extremely privileged
For sure.
to be able to do that.
That's a really good one, dude. Until you lose that, or that's like threatened, you kind of take it for granted sometimes. And so whenever I am, kind of bitching about having to do a workout, I'm like, man, I don't feel like it. I think about that. Like when I was in the hospital as a result of COVID, had a pulmonary embolism in my lung, 2 of them, and I couldn't breathe. Like the deepest I could breathe was, and it was like, it was torture, dude, for days. And so until that's threatened, you don't really understand how important and how grateful you should be for that, dude, to be able to do that. Because like you said, there are so many people out there who can't get up and go to the gym and go work out or run. You know what I mean? And it's something to be so grateful for. Because, yeah, dude, whenever I don't know if you're like this, but when I am not physical and moving and working out in some way, I go insane.
No, it completely ruins. It puts
Right?
a cloud
I go
over
into
me.
a-
I'm
me too.
sluggish. I have brain fog.
I go into a depression, no joke.
I mean, and I don't know that that's healthy, but that's
Yeah.
how I am.
I know. Yeah.
I've
crazy.
actually had to really kind of check myself on that. Like I talked to my therapist about, I have like limits to how long I'll spend in the gym.
Wow.
I try not to go
Yeah.
more than 5 days a
Wow.
week.
Yeah.
Well, because it's just like anything else. I'm getting dopamine from that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
anything that I get dopamine
You
from,
got to be careful, yeah.
I ruin everything.
Exactly.
I
Remember the froyo deal?
Yeah,
Frozen
I
yogurt?
ruined frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
I started playing.
You started sneaking
I
it.
started playing Fortnite with my kids.
Yeah.
Like last year.
Oh, yeah?
Just and I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And then they leave, and I'm like, what is this?
Were you
And
really?
then I'm playing the game every day.
Yeah, you're buying skins
I'm like,
and like, or
I'm like,
whatever.
yes. I'm like waking
Yeah.
up. I'm like,
Really?
Daniela would go to bed, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna go get a game in, and she's like rolling her eyes, and I'm like playing Fortnite with like 8-year-olds. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like
that's
I killed
funny.
this kid. Like
Yeah.
that's a problem. I ruin everything.
Yeah.
Anything that can bring me enjoyment,
Yeah.
I have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
will
you
literally
do.
ruin it.
That's crazy.
But that's
dude.
also like I guess like it's a part of being who I am.
Yeah,
It's a part
exactly.
of
It
this,
is. Yeah.
It's a part of this ailment.
Yeah.
I'm sure that people that have gone through certain diseases or gone through certain things, like there are things you have to stay away from. There are things that I have to be very careful about almost everything I do.
Yeah.
Right? Whether
Yeah.
it's and I don't really get a lot of triggers, but even that, like I got to be
Right.
very aware
Exactly. Yeah.
of the surroundings that I'm in. It's funny you brought up Christmas. Like I think there's so many people that go home for the holidays and lose it.
Yeah.
Because there's nostalgia.
Uh-huh.
There's old people from your life.
Right.
There's old
Yeah.
places. There's
Yeah.
beginnings where you started things. There's triggers.
Yep.
Like there's so
I guess
many
that is pretty common. huh?
things
Yeah.
about the holidays
Yeah.
that can
I know.
really take you out of the
Exactly.
present.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, dude, thank you for doing this, man. This
Yeah.
was incredible. This
Yeah.
is really good, dude. Yeah, I love you, man.
I love
Thank
it
you
too.
for doing this, man. Hey, real quick, do something for me. Thanks, Hunter, for coming in, man. This was a real treat. Just an amazing experience getting to hear more about Hunter's story, and just am grateful for him sharing this. And I hope somebody out there is encouraged from his story. Reach out if you need some help, guys. There's plenty of help out there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
One time for the three times for my $20
Yeah.
shit and paid our
And
bills.
I still do it. I called Matt the other day. I told my kids, I was like, Matt, I'm going to call him right now,
Yeah, this is pretty.
and he's going to say the summer of 4th grade.
Yeah.
And my kids are like, what? And I called Matt, and this was before they knew what it was.
Yeah.
This is a couple years ago, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the most important summer ever?
Yeah.
And Matt was like, the summer of 4th grade. Because for me
Because
and
his son was
Matt,
going into the summer of 4th grade. Yeah.
it's me and Matt, every time someone would be like, when was that?
Yeah.
We were always like, it's summer of 4th grade. And
Yeah.
we say it so
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.